Fourth day in a row, police and FBI agents are searching a forest preserve for Drew Peterson's missing fourth wife, Stacy. They are focusing their efforts on the Hammel Woods in southwest suburban Shorewood, and that is where we found WGN's Julie Unruh. Julie, if you can tell us anything has come up yet.
There aren't a lot of details tonight, but I do want to say this. While investigative officials call this simply part of an ongoing investigation, we have confirmed that the FBI and the Illinois State Police will be back again tomorrow for a fifth day to search for Stacy Peterson, still missing since 2007. Now, investigators have been combing the Hammel Woods, where I stand right now in Shorewood, Illinois, every day since Monday. Still no sign that they found the 23-year-old mother of two or any of her belongings. Drew Peterson, a suspect in her disappearance, already awaits sentencing for the murder of his third wife, Kathleen Savio. But people who've been watching command vans fill the 400-acre forest preserve or the choppers fill the sky would like to know more today. They all believe the Peterson family deserves some closure. These locals who've spotted investigators right next to their dog park in Hammel Woods every day this week.
It's pretty bizarre.
On Monday, when I was out here by myself with just another man, we saw the helicopters come around, and it was very eerie, very, very eerie.
Why all of a sudden 5 years later? I mean, what's the, what made them come back 5 years later to look here?
Now, Skycam 9 spotting investigators again today in Shorewood. The Will County State's Attorney has said little about this case right now, but he does claim that this new search of an old area is simply part of this ongoing and continuing investigation. He does believe that there have been no new tips. At least that's what we're being told. We're live in Shorewood. Julie Unruh, WGN News.
Okay, Julie, thank you so much for that. So the other question right now is what kind of evidence could investigators find if they do find Stacy Peterson's body? Forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Bodden joining us on the phone tonight. Are you there, sir? And hello to you.
Good evening. Yes.
Good evening. Okay, so let's begin. It has been, we heard one of the ladies in that story mention 5 years since Stacy Peterson went missing. So if they do, in fact, find her body this week, next week, what kind of evidence can they find if they perform an autopsy?
Well, the first thing is to identify any remains that might be present. And teeth don't go away. Teeth will be in excellent condition still. And they'll be able to make a match whether it is human, whether it's Stacy or somebody else, within minutes if there are human remains that are found. Now, the idea will be pretty simple. The cause of death may not be simple, but if the person was killed by gunshot, bullet wound, blunt trauma, that would show up in the bones. The bones will stay pretty good for these 5 years. But in addition to that, there may be a lot of trace evidence present in and around the body.
Okay, so I don't know if you're familiar with the area that they're searching right now. It's basically a forest preserve. When you take into account the area that they're looking at and the fact that it's been 5 years, what are the difficulties in then performing an autopsy like this or gaining some of this evidence that you're looking for?
Well, much will depend on how remains are wrapped and what kind of container the remains are, if any. If the remains are in a blue barrel, which has been theorized, for example, there might still be fingerprints inside the barrel, inside plastic bags if they're around the body. There still could be hair from the perpetrator on the clothing, if there's clothing there. Trace evidence can stay pretty much intact if it's in a confined space, like a garbage bag or a plastic barrel.
All right. Well, I want to ask you one more thing before we wrap it up here tonight. You performed the independent autopsy on Kathleen Savio. If they do, in fact, find Stacy Peterson's body, has there been any talk to have you involved in that autopsy as well, or no?
No, that'll probably be up to the district attorney's office and the family, if the Stacy's remains are found. And that's a long way down the road. But one of the things we found evidence on that's been very valuable in other cases that I've investigated similar in garbage pails, say in the upstate New York, that are sealed over with duct tape is the duct tape will keep fingerprints, will keep hairs for years and years on the sticky side.
All right, interesting. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you joining us on the phone tonight.
All best.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Mark.